and become the hope that I see. Set me free from my fears and hesitation. Grant me courage and humility. Fill me with spirit to face the challenge. I saw the change I long to see. Did I start the change I want to see? Even if I'm not the light, I can be the spark. In faith, service, and communion, let us start the change we want to see. Change that begins in me. Today I start the change I want to see. Even if I'm not the light, I can be the spark. Faith, service, and communion. Let us start the change we want to see. A change that begins in Jesus in
Mag-hybrid ka.
Good morning and welcome to the LSUD undergraduate patent search and guidelines. So today we are going to learn how to search thesis proposals that will include um, how to search if these projects have already been accomplished in other countries, and also to know the present LaSalle DASMA guidelines in order to be exempted, for example, from oral defense if your project is patentable. So we are very fortunate today to have one of the experts in LaSalle DASMA, Mr. Zeus Agustini. So to start with our program, let us now listen to the opening remarks of our Assistant Vice Chancellor for Research, Dr. Emmanuel F. Calayo.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Rosina, for inviting me to the opening remarks. First, I would like to commend your office, the IP office, for spearheading continuously this activity for the benefit of our students in search for patent and, of course, clarification about guidelines of patenting. This is a very worthy project and activity because, as we all know, um, today we are very well salvaged by the so-called um, piracy, in not only uh, in writing but also in inventions and other products. And uh, we all know that our university, De La Salle University de Marinas, is a producer of so many ideas, knowledge, and this has to be protected. So with that, it is very important that our students, especially the graduate level, the undergraduate level, should be immersed with information about the law on piracy and, of course, guidelines on patent, so that we could move on and we could develop our own inventions, our own contribution to knowledge. And all those things can be done, of course, if we are equipped with knowledge and information about patent and intellectual property rights. So again, good morning, and I would like to again commend Dr. Rosina as well as Mr. Zeus Agustin for collaborating and spearheading this activity. Thank you very much, and good luck to everyone.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Calairo, for that very inspiring message on today's activity. No, so before we go to the patent search by Sir Zeus, no, we let us first go to the guidelines uh, for students, no, to be accepted, for example, in their oral defense. So let me share with you my screen. Okay, I hope you're able, no, to see my screen. So these are the uh, intellectual property guidelines, which you can find in the new undergraduate research manual that is being provided to us by the university research office. No, so if you go to the appendix C of such guidelines, you will see the intellectual property guidelines in on how to have your thesis project be examined, no, or be considered for uh, exemption, no. Okay, so let us go to the first, no, guideline wherein research studies will be first, of course, be searched by the students themselves. No, so for the students who are here now, you can actually conduct patent search yourselves as an initial examination. You can go to Spasnet, no, you can go to Patent Scope, even Google Patents, and we have LaSalle Dasma has also its own patent search engine, no, which we have procured from the IP field, no, and I hope you will also use that because we are paying big money for that, no. So after that, after the student initially conducts a patent search, this will go to the advisor, no. That's why it's also important for the advisors to know a little bit, no, on how to search, so that he or she could also examine whether that's the thesis project may have also been already rehashed na, no, or it's already been done it is only copied by the student, right? So it's not anymore innovative, no? Then after the advisor, it will go now to the respective IP representatives, no? So each college has an IP representative, no? So um for example, in CLA we have Sir Raymond, no? Ivasco. Then for science, we have uh, also a representative, no? So each college have their own representative. So you will forward uh, thesis project being recommended by the advisor to the representatives, no? And hopefully these representatives can also conduct a little research, no? So that it now undergoes three steps, no? So that if it will now go to the IPO office, it's already very refined na, no? And we will also conduct our own due diligence, no, on the project. Okay, so uh, the IP core group members, no, these are the members of the IP core group are the representatives of the colleges themselves, no. So that's why it's important for them that you submit, no, the advisors together with the students will submit the thesis project, especially to the colleges of SEAT, no, CTHM, College of Science, Computer Science, and the CBA. No, these are the colleges which are very rich, no, in projects which are innovative. Now, of course, other colleges may also have their own creative students, no, in the College of Education, Criminology, and Liberal Arts and Communication. Okay, so after that, no, the number three na tayo, no. After that, the IP core group will forward this to my office, no, and we will be the final screen, no. The final examination will be done by our office, so that it will also be not very it will also be undergoing na three processes, no, so that once it arrives in our office, it's already very refined na, no. Okay, so number four tayo, no. This once it reaches the office of the IPO, after undergoing three examinations, no, by the student, advisor, and the IP core group, the IPO will provide a certificate, no, uh, for oral defense. And this will now be presented to the committee. And once it's received by the committee, the students will now be exempted from oral defense. No, so there are two ways to be exempted, to be given by the IPO office, and also once your project is published, no, in a reputable journal, you are also exempted from oral defense. No, okay, so you are going to submit this, no, and if it is a patent, it will be given a grade of 95 to 100. If it is a utility model, mga 90 to 95, no? That will be the grading because the patent is more is better, no, than the utility model. Okay, so number five, you will pay a certain fee, no, of 500 pesos for the review committee, no, because like Sir Zeus, no, you need you need also to give him something for examining the paper, no, if there is a patentable uh, aspect. So we will pay, for example, the IPO will contribute 500 and 500 from the students. Um, uh, then it will now be the review will now be conducted on the product. No, so the form will be available at the IPO office. No, okay, only and then this is also important to pay because the students will now really think, no, if they will submit or not, their projects. Okay, so the IP core group, they will be given priority in trainings, no, seminars, every now and then I feel conduct seminars, so they will be given priority. No, of course, other members of the community can also volunteer. No, and what is the incentive for IP core group members? They will be given 30 hours per semester of community service, which they can use in their promotion. No? And the IP core group will be assisting the IPO. No, as we have said, the project will be submitted to them. No, for before they are being searched and drafted. No, okay. So uh usually if you conduct patent search, now if you are a certified, we pay around 3,000. No, the IPO pays 3,000 if you draft a patent application. Okay, so these projects will of course be in the name of the LaSalle Dasman, no? Unless the student reserves the right that of to his project, that he or she will not submit his project for protection. No, but if the student will not reserve such right, then the right to explore will be given to the school. No, but in number 10, the students, even if the project is filed by LaSalle Dasma, the right, no, as inventors will still belong to the students. And if this project or product is commercialized, then the students will receive a share, no, a royalty for their products. If this project is developed, and then it will be commercialized. Okay. So if in number 11, as I've said, no, LaSalle Dasma will of course earn from this because it's also expensive, no, to protect your product. You have to pay for patent search, patent drafting, and then publication, and then we have also to defend the product, no, because it will be scrutinized by the intellectual property office. No, it will be examined. We have to defend, no, for after formal and substantive examination, and even in extreme cases, it will go to the courts, no, even to the Supreme Court. So we have to. It's very expensive, no. So that's why the school will have also to earn from this, no. Okay, so number 12, patents, utility models, and research designs will receive monetary awards, no? This also includes faculty in the senior high, no? So in the moment, patents receive 40,000, no? Utility models 20,000, and industrial design 10,000, no? Once you are given a certificate from the IPOFIL. And we are also planning to have this in the promotion, no? Although it's not yet there. Let's say patent is one step, and then uh, 5 utility models, one step, and then 10 industrial designs, one step. No, uh, although the undergrad research manual applies only to college students, it can also be applied perhaps to senior students in a supplementary manner. No, if they want, for example, they want their students to be exempted from defense, but they also want their paper to be published or be given a certification by the IPO that there is a patentable trade, no? So not even graduate students, no? Graduate students may also have their works, no? Their thesis project submitted to the IPO, no? So we have now some projects from graduate studies, no? And from the senior high, and also of course from the undergraduate. Okay, so this policy cover not only in the school, but also if you have agreements with outside agencies, no, then it will also be considered in the AIGO field, no. So I will entertain questions, no, after the presentation of Sir Zeus, because we need also to give more time, not to that, because that is the primary reason for this webinar. So let me introduce now, no? Just reserve your questions to my presentation after, together with Sir Zeus, no? So our next speaker uh, is a man of many hats, no? As we have said, he's the He's in charge with the journals, no, with the publication, the crafting of the journals. Also, he's also the technical expert of the IPO field. I mean of the DLSUD IPO, and he also engages in as a committee, no, of other in the Saldasma. So without further ado, now let us listen to the patent search presentation of Mr. Zeus Agustin.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Rosina. So let me share my slide. Hmm. Okay, so my presentation today would be composed of two parts. First, we have to familiarize ourselves with patent information and patent documents because when we deal with patent searching, we have to deal with different patent documents that contain essential patent information. Okay, so patent inform then later we will discuss some strategies and techniques when we do patent searching. Okay. So why is this important to researchers, to students, as well as thesis advisors? Uh, with the advent of the guidelines produced in managing patentable research outputs by students, it is essential for students and advisors to know if their projects were already done before. Okay, dapat ito ay sa proposal stage pa lang nagagawa na. Uh, so we don't need to reinvent the wheel. So what we have to do is to produce a new product which is which has potential to be commercialized. Because if you're just going to duplicate something, then I think what we did for research, what we did for our research projects would be useless. Okay, so at the proposal stage, it is important that if you are going to produce a product, make sure that you would run a patent search. So let's start with patent information and patent documents. Okay. One major part or function of patent protection is actually the disclosure of patent information. Because when we disclose patent information, we are making public how we do or how we go about the product, how they are constructed, uh, so that people, uh, those who are knowledgeable in the field, may duplicate them and find solutions to improve them. So it is the driver of improvement. So without the disclosure of patent information, without the disclosure of the ways to produce the product, then uh it would be difficult to drive and progress in different inventive solutions. Okay. So it is one of the foundations of the patent system. Uh, it provides different information that would drive development of technology, technological capability, and economic growth when these things materialize. Okay. So the disclosure of this information are materialized through patent documents. So what are patent documents? So a patent document begins with the patent application form. So when we submit a form to IPOFIL in our instance in the Philippines, then it is already part of the patent document. Okay, so it is roughly the base of the patent document where the applicant first puts all relevant information about the invention. So what are the distinct features of a patent document? So it provides details of the invention, including information on how the reader could carry out the invention, how you can duplicate it. Okay, but duplicating it doesn't mean that you can already produce it and sell it. It means that if the patent is active, ang protection kasi ng patents 20 years. So if the patent is still active and those 20 years have not been exhausted yet, then you cannot commercialize that product. So you can duplicate in a sense that you could find also improvements to it. Okay. Next, it describes the invention claim in essence identifying the legal scope of the patent right. So you could find out if the 20 years has lapsed. You can find out if they have failed to pay for annuities, so their protection expired. So things like that. If those things happen, then you can already duplicate the product, that same product, and sell it. Okay. So if not, then you can just use it as basis for improvements to come up with another patent application. Next, it identifies the inventor and the patent owner. So you have to include, kumbaga sa books, bibliographic entries. So who are the patent owners? Who are the inventions? When was it made? When was it applied? So on and so forth. So what are the major parts of a patent document? Okay. So first we have the bibliographic information, which has these different parts or specific sections. The title of the invention, the date of filing, the priority date. The priority date is the date that this application was first filed in any country or region. Okay. Then the relevant technical field. Is it an apparatus for sports? Is it a kitchenware? Is it related to food? Things like that. So we have the IPC for it, International Patent Classification System, and the CPC. But unfortunately, we cannot discuss it in detail today. But actually, it's easy to Google. What it contains is the general ways to classify inventions depending on their purpose. Okay. Next, the name and address of applicants. So it has to be included. An abstract. So just like a research paper, you also have to include an abstract. But the construction of the abstract for patent documents is a little different than how we usually do it in research. Then we have to also include representative drawings of the invention. Okay. So if it is a product with a physical o yung materialization niya, then you have to include the drawings, you have to identify the parts and etc. So later I'm going to give you an example. I'll show you an example. Then patent specification. So usually this includes the background of the invention, a summary of the invention, a brief description of any drawings, and a detailed description of the invention. So this is considered the most information-rich part of the document because this is where how to carry out the invention is contained. Okay, so ito yung mga steps. Ito yung mga ito yung description how to construct the invention. Then we have patent claims. So this section defines the patent's scope of legal protection. So the applicant makes them as broad as possible, while the examiner narrows it closely as possible to what is actually stated in the invention's specification. Meaning, pero ito, trabaho na kasi talaga ng, ng patent attorneys or patent agents. But when you do patent claims, this is what you are trying to protect actually. So for example, if you have an improvement to a product, for example, a mouse, you made an improvement to a mouse, pero yung mouse, existing product na yan eh. There is already a patent for it and there are already existing claims. When you draft your claim, excuse me, when you draft your claim, it should be it should only cover what is new or what you did to the mouse. Excuse me. Okay. So now where can we find patent documents? Okay, before, you can only find patent documents in offices, physical offices. So before, you have to go to IPOFIL, you have to request for the physical document to read a patent document. But now we have the internet. So with the internet, you can already access different databases like WIPO's Patent Scope, the USPTO, and the European patent platform, which is ESPASnet. Okay, the Japanese platform, which is JPlat. Okay, so you can already access these things for free. So there is actually no excuse for us to skip patent searching when we are doing research and we are trying to come up with a new invention. So what's the importance? It is to avoid duplication of R&D work, meaning uh, we don't want to reinvent the wheel. So we do not want to waste resources to come up with a product that already exists and it's already protected. Because if we are going to sell it, then we can be sued for it. Okay, and a lawsuit is going to be a very complicated thing when it comes to patents. Then we could identify specific new ideas, technical solutions, identify the state of the art, so you can know what's the latest, okay, in a particular technological field. Then assess and evaluate specific technology to identify possible licensors. You would like to know who is the foremost inventor of this product, so you can contact him or her and do partnerships, so things like that. Identify alternative technology sources, locate sources of know-how in a specific field, and improve an existing product or process, and reveal additional possibilities where an invention might be used. Okay. So you can also develop new technical solutions because if you try to analyze an existing product and you find somehow a fault in there, then you can introduce improvements. Then identify existing or prospective industrial property rights. So what are still protected and what are still not what are already not protected by patents. So this, as a business person, you would know what things you can already sell in your country without infringing uh, other people's patents. Okay. Assess novelty and patentability. These are two criterions for two criteria for patents. So a patent must be novel, it must be new, it must be industrially applicable, it has practical use, then it involves inventive step. So the inventive step is the one that makes it an invention. So without an inventive step, then it's going to be only a utility model. Okay. You can also monitor activities to gain clear picture of competitor strengths, determine availability of patented technologies, locate cases of piracy and unlawful use of traditional knowledge, and identify a market niche or to discover new trends in technology. Okay. So that's it for patent information. Then, okay, so let's go now to patent search strategies and techniques. So patent search is a necessary operation in the patent process because it allows entities to innovate while also avoiding unwanted loss in resources. Okay, so it will give you the opportunity to plan your research ahead, okay, and make it as smooth as possible, meaning there are no bumps, legal bumps that you would encounter in relation to patents. Okay, again, so patent information is it contains description of how to carry out the invention. It contains the patent claims, so what are protected, and the inventor, patent owner, and other legal information about the patent or the bibliographic part. So when preparing a patent application, a patent searcher would often conduct a search to look for prior arts. So what is a prior art? Okay, so it is any evidence that your invention is already known. It could be something that is described in a book. It could be something that is already shown in a film or in a movie. It may be something that's already published in journals. Okay, so these are all evidences that an invention is already out there. Okay, so it does not need to exist physically or commercially. Again, because it can just be described in a book. Okay, it is enough that someone, somewhere, or sometime previously has described or shown or made something that contains a use of technology that is very similar to your invention. So that already makes it a prior art. Okay. It doesn't mean that uh, that it only covers inventions here in the Philippines. So no, it is worldwide. Okay. So somehow at some time, somewhere, so could be anywhere in the world. If it's already described, if it's already materialized or already being used or being sold, then it's already a prior art. So again, prior art is any written description. It is something that is known by use. Okay, it is an already existing product. Okay, or it is an oral description. Somebody has described it, maybe in an oral presentation or in any other way that it is described. So what is the most obvious prior art? Of course, it is an existing product. It is the most obvious form of prior art. If you can already see it in markets, if you can already see it in stores, in malls, then that is already a prior art. But there is a common mistake there. So just because they cannot find the product containing their invention for sale in any shops, doesn't mean that it is already novel. That what you have in mind, the product that you have in mind is already novel. Assume that it is already invented. So you have to do patent searching. Okay, so free patent search engine. So we have USPTO, we have Patent Scope, we have SPASnet. Patent Scope is from the World Intellectual Property Organization. Then SPASnet is by the European Union. JPlatPat is by Japan. And Google Patents, usually, of course, by Google. But in today's presentation, I would introduce you to Patent Scope and SPASnet. So what are patent search techniques? So we have truncation, we have the use of Boolean logic, proximity search, field name search, and phrase search. Truncation meaning we have to use wildcards. So wildcards in searching like yung paggamit ng asterisk to replace it with any length of character in a search. Question mark would be 0 or 1 character. Then hashtag would be exactly 1 character. So for example, if you are looking for uh ano bang product maganda? Kunyari pen. Uh, if you're looking for inventions related to pen, if you write uh pen, then plus asterisk, it would look for terms like pens. It would look for pencil, so things like that. So it would include it in the search. If you put a question mark after pen, pen, then it would replace it with nothing. It would look for pen, and it would also look for pens. Okay. So if you lose if you use p, or if you type p and the hashtag character, then you would be looking for pens, or I don't know what other material would have a replacement for the hashtag that would relate to an invention. But that's how it works. That's how translation works. Then we have Boolean logic, or the use of and, or, and not. Okay. Next, we have proximity search. Uh, this is by searching how close a particular term is to another term when you are trying to search. Okay. Next, field name search. So field name search, you have to specify a particular field in 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 the search engine. It will be in the front page, for example, claims, description, etc. Okay. Later I'll show you how it works in patent scope and in SPASnet. Then we have phrase search. When we say phrase search, then we have to use a string of words to identify or to look for in our search engines. Okay, so it could be composed of uh, two or more words that would comprise your search tree. Okay, so what are the 8 steps? I call the 8 steps of pattern searching. First, we have to describe the invention. We have to describe what's in our mind. Okay. Then we have to identify what makes our invention maybe relevant. Ano ba talaga yung pinaka ano yung essential parts ng invention natin? Then we consider relevant keywords and synonyms, because we are dealing with kaya we are dealing with European terms when we use SPASnet, British terms when you use WIPO, American and British English are have these nuances, differences in terms. Kunyari, yung taxi, cab, naman dun sa isa, elevator is lift naman dun sa isa. So we have to consider these things when we do pattern searching. So we have to list down these terms that we are looking for, then try to consider their synonyms and other terms depending on what country they are on what country it describes what country describes the particular part or particular material. Then determine the patent classification. So we have to identify the technical field. Okay. Then next we have to conduct the patent searching. Okay, when we conduct our patent searching, make sure that we would retrieve patent documents, especially those that are closely related to your invention. Okay. Review patent documents. So we have to review, try to see differences, try to see similarities so that you could assess if your invention is new or not. Then check references and fields of search. Okay, when you look for references, it's a good way to pinpoint some similar inventions. Okay, then you can also document relevant findings. So always take note of everything that you have found when you are doing patent searching. So hints to easy patent searching. So carefully choose your keywords. Then use the results of other people's searches. You can do that. Then if possible, provide dates of availability of prior arts found. Because in patent protection, dates are essential. Okay. Kasi nga, di ba, may protection tayo na 20 years. So you can you can actually infer many different implications of of patent protection depending on the dates they were granted. Okay, so those are for patent search. Maybe I'll show you an example of a patent document. Okay, so this is an example of a patent document. So again, this is the front page, and the front page contains the bibliographic entries. So this was patented or applied for in the United States. Okay. Then it relates to a dual shifter for a bicycle. So this is the invention. So who is the inventor? So it is Christopher P. D'Alucio from California. Okay. So the assignee is actually the owner of the invention. So what can we infer from here? It is actually that Christopher P. D'Alucio is working for specialized bicycle components, which is based in Morgan Hill, California, in the US. So even though he is the inventor, he is not the owner of the patent. Okay? O in our case, dun sa inexplain kanina ni Dr. Rosina, if your product will be patented together with the LSUD, then you would appear, your names would appear as the inventor, and you would also appear as one of the assignees, meaning that the LSUD and the inventors would co-own the invention. Okay, so this is the application number. Uh, it is the date filed. Usually, this becomes the priority date. Okay. Then from the date of filing, you can count 20 years, and that would be the scope of protection of your patent. So these are international classifications. Tingnan, sige, let's try later to search for these classifications. Tingnan natin kung ano yung mga lalabas. Okay, then there's this, we have also an abstract. Then there's already a drawing here. So these are drawings of the invention. Since it is a dual shifter for a bicycle, it would usually relate to this part. Hanggang dito sa parts na to, because this is where shifting of gears in bicycles happen. Okay. Those are drawings. Okay. Then you have to show a deconstructed drawing of your shifter to show different parts. Okay. So there is also information on how it moves depending on the axis that it is situated. Okay. So ito na yung description of the invention, these parts. Okay, the summary, the detailed description. So this is how the invention is carried out, how it is constructed. But when you describe this, you don't have to actually describe the purpose unless it is actually necessary to well, yung purpose is to move this part. Okay, yon. But yung kung ano yung technical effect niya, you don't have to describe the technical effect. Okay. So those are the descriptions. Oops, I missed something. Okay. Ito yung claims. So what is claimed is a bicycle comprising of two wheels, but ito yung general claim. Okay. Then these are the specific claims that are being covered. These are the specific claims that are being protected. by the patent, by the existing patent. So everything that contains here, that is contained here, you cannot duplicate and sell. Okay. So what you can do is to examine this and try to find improvements. Okay. But if you're planning to sell, so you can, unless unless they are not protected here in the Philippines. Kaya nag-apply siya sa US lang. Then if you're going to produce the same product and sell it in the Philippines, then it's okay. Kasi territorial kasi ang scope ng patent protection. So if you only apply to this particular country, it is not protected in a country where it is not applied for. Okay, so that's an example of a patent document. So when you do patent search, you have to do to deal with these things. Then you always make sure to download patent documents if available, so that you could examine them later. Okay, so that's what a patent document is. So let's go back here and I will introduce you to SPASnet and WIPOS patent scope. Okay, so if you are using a laptop now, you can try going to SPASnet. So that's worldwide.spasnet.com. Or you can Google SPASnet, then ano lang, then go to the first entry. Yung first entry lang yata yun. So SPASnet. So I just Googled SPASnet, then click here. And this is the interface of SPASnet. Okay. So it is in default in a smart search mode. So you can enter a string of words here, and you can and then it would show you results. Or you can choose advanced searching. So when we click advanced search, okay, so this is how you are this is how you will do your search. So you have to identify the field, identify the Boolean operator, so and or not. Okay. So up to how many levels, and you can also actually add. Okay. But by default, if you're going to search terms in this search tab, then by default naka-end yan. So every term that you put there, it is already in end form. Kunyari, COVID vaccine. So it would look for the words COVID and vaccine. Okay. So for example, sige, try natin tong COVID vaccine na search. Okay. So ang dami palang vaccine related to ang dami nang na-invent na mga bagay related to COVID-19 vaccine. So there are 4,892 results. And that is just in a span of yun lang, almost 3 years. 3 years na yung pandemic. So maybe less. But this is how so this is how everything has already progressed. So there are already 4,892 relevant results showing documents related to COVID-19 vaccine. Okay. So if you're going to use this one in advanced search, for example, COVID vaccine. Yeah. So ganun siya lalabas. So advanced search has already shown you how it can be searched for using advanced search. You just have to put COVID in the first term. Okay. Then the Boolean operator is N. Okay. Then put vaccine. Okay. For example, if you are actually looking for a drug and not a vaccine, pwede rin naman. You can just use, kunyari, drug or medicine. Uh, so there are actually 8,582 uh, TB drugs related to COVID 19. So actually mas marami pala. Okay. Because a drug could be contained actually siguro dun sa vaccines themselves. But for the production of vaccines, there are only 4,800. Balik lang natin sa vaccine. Okay, so that's how we do it in SPASnet. Try natin nga, try natin na tanggalin muna tong search results. Then actually go to advanced search. Let's just see how it would go. Okay, so that's advanced search. Kunyari, we are trying to look for sa title page. So we have to look at the title page. Okay. Okay. Naka-default na pala siya. Okay. So COVID. Vaccine. Okay, so because we limited it in teka, ang siya, no? We've entered it differently. Because okay. The next term should be presented here. Then we have to choose the field. Wala. All lang natin. All text and so COVID vaccine. So yata yung 4,000. Tama. So that's how it is in default. So that is in every field. But if you're specifically looking at names, dates, classification, so we could specify in what part of the document we can look for. And in that way, we can narrow down our search. Kaya kanina nagkaroon tayo ng 140 plus lang na results because we look at the title and we also look at the abstract. Title or abstract. Okay. So that's for sige, i-display pa rin natin yung COVID vaccine. Then let's try looking for these using patent scope. Patent scope is the one being managed by the World Intellectual Property Organization. So try natin. Any field din natin so that it would look at the front page, at the descriptions, and at the claims. Tingnan natin kung sino yung mas maraming ilalabas na results. Okay, so there are actually a lot being shown in WIPO's patent scope. So there are 6,684 results compared to SPASNet's 4,892. So how come? Well, because the World Intellectual Property Organization is actually the one that manages, but it coordinates with all all intellectual property offices around the world. So if there are applications that are applied for multiple countries, dito papasok sila sa patent scope. So we could say that patent scope's database is actually wider. It has actually have a stack of more information than SPASnet. But among free databases, sila yung pinakamadaling gamitin. Well, that's aside from Google Patents. Medyo yung Google Patents kasi, ang problema sa kanya ay, dati maganda gamitin ang Google Patents, but now they change interfaces, kunyari COVID vaccine. But I think this would show you more results. Kasi basta nasa ano yan, basta nasa public domain yan sa net, it could be found, then it will show you this document. So there are 56,225 results. That are related to COVID vaccine. Okay, sige, let's look for let's try another example. Kunyari, magagawa tayo ng ano ng pang inventions. Usually, anong products pa ba yung mga lumabas this COVID this pandemic. Let's try mga N95 masks. Try nga natin kung meron. N95 mask. Okay. So, baka naganap siya dito. Anyway. Sige, try natin. Bumalik sa homepage. Tayo. Okay. Dito natin tignan sa WIPO. I tried it earlier. May lumabas kanina eh. But I think maybe this is WIPO. Okay. Pagtaka wala siya sa SPAS din. Let's try again. Tried it earlier. Nagano siya eh. Okay. Wala kung may bug ang SPAS. Because I tried it earlier with it. Okay siya. Anyway. Huh. Okay. The search for an N95 mask or inventions related to the N95 mask is a search that resulted to 2,362 results. So meaning there are documents that contain the words N95 and mask in this natin, but parang wala naka-highlight na N95. Maybe it's KN95. KN95. Wala rin. Okay, I tried it as an example earlier kasi I'm not sure why. Huh? Okay, so sige dito na lang tayo sa ano sa patent scope. Let's try our patent scopes. So these are inventions that are that these are documents that contain the words KN95 and mass. Okay. So what if we also would like to ano bang ano KN main KN94 no? Try natin na KN95 gamit tayo ng Boolean operator or KN94 plus and mass. So let's assume that it use the plural form mass, or maybe there are other ano pa bang terms. I mean, baka may nabanggit na mass na yung the act yo, so baka in past form. So let's just use asterisk as the as our wild card. So let's see how many it will give us. Okay, so this is basically our search string. So KN95 or KN94. So it will look for terms KN95 or KN94 and the term mass or its different variations. It could be the plural form or ayan. Let's look. So we have KN95 here. Then mass also. So we have mass. We have one replaced with S. So it also look at those terms. So I'm wondering if it would show a KN94. So basically it would show us more uh more results since we are going to look we are looking for KN95 or KN94 mass. Okay, so that's how we use Boolean operators and wildcards. Try natin nga dito sa ano sa SPASnet. Medyo na sa SPASnet to to. Kanina kasi ay yan. Ginamit ko itong term na to for my search. Kailangan niyo lang i-refresh. SPASnet, run search. Okay. AN 95. Kaya natin ang asterisk. Okay. Wala talaga. Anyway, because earlier may nakita kasi ako na ano ng mga different products related to the construction of the KN95 mask. So for example, you have invented meron pa mga KN95 mask na ano na reusable or washable. So tingnan natin kung maglalabas lang itong patent scope. So let's search for KN95 and term mask or masks and uh, washable. Kapag term for washable, it is washable. It could also be maybe reusable. Tingnan natin. Reusable. Okay, 95 mask. So that's our search string. So it would look for documents containing KN95, the terms KN95, mask or masks, and washable or reusable. So baka pwede ring reuse or Washable. Sige, baka mas ano no, reuse. Baka at na term lang is reuse or reuse. So, search natin. Reusable. Try natin kung ano yung magiging difference sa search. This is how we narrow down our searches. So if you're going to look only for KN95 and mass, then it will show us nasa 6,000 ba kanina. Then if you're going to insert another term, then of course it would narrow down our search. And let's see if kung nasa around thousands pa rin yung ating magiging result. Okay. So there's just 96 results for this. Okay. Try nga natin kung meron ng invention na reusable na KN95 mask. Something that's washable or reusable. So hindi pa nag-appear yung terms. This is what's good with these patent search engines. They also highlight your search terms. Okay, so there's one. So there is a KN95 that is washable and reusable. Okay, so sakto yung term. So let's look at the document. Kapag nag-search ako, usually binubuksan ko sa ibang tab. It makes me comfortable that way. Okay, so let's look at this patent. Okay, so the bibliographic data. Since this is in Chinese, ayan. Patent document, patent search engines, Espasnet as well as Patent Scope, they also offer machine translation of the document. So this one is in Chinese. There's no way for us to actually understand how everything in this particular document are stated unless they provided an English translation. Okay, so in this case, there is this English translation in the abstract, but I'm not sure if in the other document, if there are also translations in the other parts of the document. So let's try lang natin yung Wipo translate. Okay, there's none for English. Okay, so baka dahil nag-provide na sila dito. Okay, so let's look first at the bibliographic entry. So this is applied for in China. Okay, in their patent office. And it has this application number. It was applied, okay, on the 14th of August 2020. Excuse me. It has this publication number. Then it was published. Okay, so there's gap. Almost 1 year gap between the application date and the publication date. So medyo in our case usually mga 3 years, 3 to 6 years bago mag-grant yung patent. Ito medyo mabilis. So it has these applications. Okay. So this is an example of an IPC classification. So that's the code A41D 13/11. Okay. So it relates to what? Human necessities. That's A. 41 is a wearing apparel because we wear a mask. Okay. D means that it is an outerwear, something that is related to protective garments or accessories. So 13, it relates to professional, industrial, or sporting protective garments. Okay. 05. Oh, but may 05. Okay, specifically for 05, protecting only a particular body part. Then 11, specifically it refers to protective face mask for surgical use or for use in foul atmospheres. Okay. So these are other classifications. So also under human necessities, under wearing apparel, but it relates to a layered material because a KN95 mask is composed of different layers. Then we have another application. It is waterproof and breathable. Okay? So these are just specifics. So under D13, ito D31. Ito also is D31 but it is waterproof and breathable. Ito D31 but it is layered material. So these classifications are actually there's more. Ang dami pa. So all these classifications, you can also use these classifications to do your search. So kunin niyo lang yung code then you can search for it. Try natin kung may makikita tayong ganito sa SPASNet. Try lang natin sa SPASNet. Okay. So an IPC, na-detect niya kagad na this is an IPC or CPC. A41D, then 13, 11. Okay, so apparently in SPASNet, there are 211 classification dito. IPC. Ating pasok. Oh, there's 0. Kasi dapat magkakasama to, hindi ko alam kung ganun siya sinerge. Okay, so actually, under, ano yun? Human necessities, wearing apparel, a protective mask. So there are actually, in SPASNet, there are 33,198 inventions related to protective masks. Okay, so you can actually use IPCs to narrow down also your searches. Okay, so a combination of it, IPC, then your search string, di lalo niyo naman na narrow down yung search nyo, it would be actually easier. Okay, so in our case, di ba, ilan na lang tong there are only 96 results related to washable KN95 mask. Okay. Then we actually found what we are looking for easier. In this case, nasa fifth entry lang yung washable na face mask. So pwede pala 'yon. So there's this invention already, but we haven't, I think wala pang ganito sa market. Okay? Ito kasi ito yung naisip ko kanina, no? So, very likely in a mask, meron kayong washable na. Kasi naisip ko na magandang magkaroon ng washable na mask. That's my assumption earlier. If I'm going to invent something, maybe a washable KN95 mask would be good because KN95 masks are durable and it provides the maximum protection that it could against COVID-19 virus. But I haven't seen one in the market. Wala pang ganito sa kahit sa malls yata wala pa or maybe specified medical device stores. That's my assumption. But to make sure, we look for this. We look for this in patent databases. Baka kasi meron na. And it happened na meron nga. That there is already a washable and reusable KN95 mask from Japan. From China. So the applicant is Chen Jipeng and he is also the inventor. So Chen Jipeng. I'm not sure if this is a person or a company, pero it looks like that he is a person. Okay. So it is an individual who invented and applied for the patent for this KN95 mask that is reusable and washable. Okay? So these are the descriptions. Kaya this is already in Chinese. Ito yung problema natin eh. Okay, so there is an English. Okay. Okay, so Yun nga lang, medyo tricky pa rin yung machine translation. So, somehow we have to actually read between the lines, and kasi minsan may mga mali-mali pa rin translation na binibigay sa machine translations ng WIPO and even SPASnet. Okay. But it's good that they can. So these are the claims. So let's see if English translation is okay. So provided naman yung English translation. And these are the drawings. Okay. Yung pala, tips pala sa drawings. To make it faster for you to look for your nearest prior art, tignan nyo kaagad yung drawings. I think sa SPASnet kasi ay ringan natin. Kanina kasi naglabas siya na search for KN95 mask eh. Maganda sana kung pareho lang yung ating search sa dalawa. Is there another term for KN95 that you know? Baka may pwedeng kasi nagtataka ako ba't hindi niya talaga nilalabas yung result eh. Anyway, sige, tingnan. Anyway, ang maganda kasi sa SPASnet, yung bike talaga nila, dual shifter bike. Yung example na lang natin sa document kanina. Just to show you the interface of of SPASnet when it shows results. Ayan. You can actually use drawings only na option. So when you do this, ilalabas na niya kaagad. So you can look at the title. So if it is actually close to the description of the project that you are working on, puntahan nyo kaagad yung drawings. Tignan nyo kaagad kung magkamukha. Kasi kung sa drawing pa lang magkamukha na sila, then the chances are it's already done. Okay? So that's what's good with looking at drawings immediately. Kasi napapadali niya yung trabaho. This is what's good with SPASnet. Sorry. Okay. Because in WIPO, I'm not sure if they have this this option, pero parang wala. Kaya para sa akin mas gusto ko actually ginagamit ang SPASnet is more user friendly. Pero yung WIPO kasi mas marami siyang nilalabas na results. So as a patent searcher, if you're going to conduct a patent search, maybe it's better for you to use both. Okay, so if you're looking for prior arts for your invention, or to see only if your product's actually new, please use both SPASnet and WIPO. Kung medyo sinisipag pa rin kayo, you can also use Google Patents. But actually, WIPO and SPAS is good. But if you're kung ginagawa niyo ito for research purposes, tingnan nga sa ating mga thesis and dissertation, don't limit yourselves in SPASnet and WIPO. Do not limit hindi lang 'yon. Huwag niyo i-limit yung mga sarili niyo dun sa patent search engines. Also use journals, kasi baka nga dinescribe pa lang sila sa isang journal publication or sa book at hindi pa sila napapa-apply for patent. But it will still constitute prior art. So if you are doing a research, if you are doing a if you're doing a project that would entail the production of a product that has commercial potential, then uh, exhaust all means to look for your prior arts or related literature. So you should use journals. You should look for books. Then you should also use different patent search engines. So this is just a simple demo of how we can use Espasnet and patent scope. Okay. So pwede rin siyang i-explore pa. Okay? So in this case, then let's move forward. Yun. Since nakita natin na meron, kunyari, ito nga yung hinahanap natin na KN95 that's washable and reusable, then we could also download these documents. Ang hindi ko lang sigurado kung ang ida-download niya ay Chinese or English. So try natin kung ano yung document. But usually this is the original eh. But let's try. So I downloaded it. Try lang natin tignan kung ano yung contents ng document. Okay. Okay. So apparently medyo madamot tong tong patent document ito kasi drawings lang yung naka-attach sa kanya. So what you can do is to take note of the bibliographic data. Ayan. So yung bibliographic data niya, ano yung always look at the teka, nasaan ang ano nito? Ito pala, sorry. Ayan, ito yung kanyang patent number, CN213663805. So you can take note of that. Tapos, note nyo lang maybe in a separate Word file or Excel file so that you can come back to it later. Yun. Pero, yun nga, sa example ko, I was looking for a reusable or washable KN95 mask. This is already my prior art. And maybe this is already a hindrance to my project. So, since meron na, I think I would not pursue doing a research on reusable KN95 mask because there's already an existing one. Meron ng patent tong invention na to. So I wouldn't waste another time, then I would look for another one. Okay, so ganun po yung dapat yung maging attitude natin pagdating dito sa ating pagdating sa mga research or mga thesis natin na may mga products. So kapag nakita natin may existing na, then you have to think of another project. Again, if it is not in the market, it doesn't mean that it does not exist. Always assume that somehow, somewhere, at some point in time, it has been already described, it has already been produced, it has already been applied for patent, and that you cannot do it. Yun lang naman ay para kumbaga, make that assumption, not to discourage you. Make that assumption so that when you do your patent search and you do your literature review, it would be exhaustive, and that you are going to be sure that you can actually proceed with your research or with your thesis without hiccups. Okay po, so that's for a simple demo of how to use patent scope and SPASnet. So para lang naman din siyang it's just like using Google to search for things. And you can actually explore different functions of these. Uh, so what I showed you is how to make a simple use of these pattern search engines. So again, I believe it's not that there's no excuse anymore to do a simple pattern search, especially if you're going to conduct a a project, a research project that would come up with a product. Okay, so let's not reinvent the wheel. If we're going to invent something, let's make sure that it is new, it has practical use, and that it is inventive. So that's all for my presentation. Maybe we could just entertain questions after this. So thank you very much po.
Okay, thank you very much, Sir Zeus, no, for that very enlightening lecture, no, on the pattern search. So we are now going to entertain, no, a few questions. You may raise your hand, or you may type your questions, no, in the chat box. Um, but before that, no, I just like to share that Lasal Dasma also has its own search engine, no, and you just I will just share to you this one just for a second. I will share to you the link, no. So this is the web page, no, derwentinnovation.com. The password and your surname is in the chat box, pero one at a time lang, and you just type the keywords, no. This is more simple, but this is paid kasi for only 1 year with a substantial amount. So it might expire by March or April na, no. So that's why it's better is the free ano na lang, no, the free search site. So you can go here and check the projects of your students, or the students themselves, so not me check on your projects if they are patentable, no. And as I've said, you can use this only one at a time now. Okay, so that's for the Lasal subscribe button search, no. Okay, so any more do you have other comments, suggestions in our on our webinar lecture? Any any one last call for comments or clarifications? Okay, medyo wala na, no, or baka gutom na, no. So let's just proceed na lang to the closing remarks to be given by the director, no, of the University Research Office. Let's call on Dr. Johnny Ching.
Good afternoon, everyone. One of the things that the panel members always check in a research proposal is its novelty. Thus, it's really a must for the proponents, as early as during the topic selection, to check whether what's on his mind or plans to do is really a new one and never been done before. As said by our resource person, Sir Seuss, there's no excuse for us to do something that's already been done. It's just a waste of time and effort. Another thing that we have learned in this webinar is the importance of patent certification or certification for utility model or industrial design for our research output, no matter how simple or how crazy your idea or products could be. I'm sure that after attending this webinar, there are now more questions running in your mind. The IP office of Sir Ames is always open from Monday to Friday at the Porteria de San Benildo, malapit po sa Gate 2 sa DBP ATM, kasama po ng URO at ng Ethics Review Committee. Sir Ames and Sir Sus are more than happy to assist you in whatever you need that is IP or patent related. Thank you for your participation. Hope to see you again in the next webinar. Magandang hapon muli.
Thank you also. Thank you very much, Dr. Ching, for that very also very inspiring closing. So you may now accomplish no the evaluation link. It's now in the it's in the chat box, or it's in the screen. It's on the screen, no? So you may now use the link, no, to evaluate. And once you have received you have accomplished it, the certificate will be sent to your email. Once again, we thank you for attending this webinar. We appreciate it a lot, no? And hopefully you have learned also uh, from this search. And we hope to see you again in the other uh, fora. No? So on January 25, tentative date, we will also have a forum on predatory journals. So I hope you will also be available on that forum on predatory journals, so that we will know the characteristics of journals which are reputable. No? So I will hope to see you again in the succeeding webinars that will be provided by the URO and the IPO. No? So thank you, and we will give you a few more 2 more minutes, no, to accomplish this link, and then we will close already the the webinar. No, okay. So thank you, and always take good care of ourselves in these times of uncertainty brought about by the COVID pandemic. Thank you, and thank you very much. Nasa chat box din daw po yung yung link. Yes, no, pwede na po mag-log out once you have accomplished the link na. Okay, we will now leave. I will now close this link, and if you have any questions, just email the IPO office. Thank you, and happy lunch to everyone.